What is going on, Life Fitness Coaches? Welcome to another episode of the Change Lives Make Money Online Trainer Podcast. It's your boy, Brian Mark. And in today's episode, we're going to talk about state management. And before I get into it, I want to talk about why it's so important. Now, I just finished up day one of the Elite Match Mastermind. And for those of you guys that don't know what that is a basically 2-day event where Cole and I fly out a bunch of our clients. They stay in this giant mansion. We cook them food. They work out at the gym, and then we mastermind for 2 days. And so one of the things that we focused on yesterday was state management. And the argument that I made was, what makes the difference? You know, when two people have the exact same blueprint, one person goes and uses the blueprint to achieve massive success, while the other person fails miserably in the process. What makes the difference between somebody that succeeds and somebody that fails? Somebody that ends up getting everything that they want and somebody that never ends up getting anything that they want. And I boiled it down to a very simple concept, and the concept is called state management. Now, there are different layers to state management, but what I want to do today is I want to give you one practical tool that you can take away and utilize immediately so that you can start showing up in a more positive and optimistic place. I'm also going to explain why that is important and talk about the difference between somebody that shows up optimistic and pessimistic. And finally, again, I'm going to give you a practical belief system that you can embody that will help you manage your state. So first things first, we're going to play a scenario, right? So we're going to talk about, negative Nancy, right? Actually, no, we're going to call him negative Nelly, okay? Because we're going to change it up a little bit. Negative Nelly. Okay, so negative Nelly opens up this coaching program, right? He's really excited. He wants to grow his online coaching business. So he starts posting on social media. His first 10 videos get 100 views each. So negative Nelly goes in his head and says to himself, this shit isn't working. Like, fuck, like, why isn't this working? Like, I'm only getting 100 views of my content. This totally sucks. Like, man, like, what the hell, right? Like, and then negative Nelly ends up booking a sales call. Negative Nelly books a sales call, and the sales call shows up and doesn't buy. And negative Nelly says to himself, like, fuck, like, why didn't this person buy? Like, I followed the script. I did everything I was supposed to do. And then negative Nelly goes and tells 3 of his friends that, this person didn't buy an online coaching card, and that I posted on social media 3 times and nobody reached out, and, my content's not hitting, and blah, 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 blah. Okay. So now we're going to flip the perspective and we're going to talk about optimistic Ollie. Okay. So optimistic Ollie has that exact same circumstance. He joins a coaching program with the exact same amount of followers that negative Nelly has and posts on social media 10 times. And every single time he posts on social media, he gets 100 views. And optimistic Ollie is like, dude, 100 people? I've never spoken to a room of 100 people in my fucking life. And now I got 100 people watching my content. What the fuck? That is so cool. That is just so rad. I'm so grateful that I have 100 people that want to pay attention to my message. What the fuck? How cool is life? Life is such a beautiful gift. And then optimistic Ollie books a sales call, and that sales call doesn't buy. And optimistic Ollie is like, you know what? The fact of the matter that as I was able to book a sales call, off of, content that's getting 100 views is pretty fucking cool. Imagine what's going to happen if I keep working on my content and I keep getting closer to 1,000 views and then 10,000 views. Like, what's going to happen when my videos are getting 10,000 views each? Holy fuck. That's cool. Optimistic Ollie goes back to work on the course while negative Nelly doesn't do any fucking work. Now, what makes the difference, right? 2 people show up to a coaching program. 1 person achieves incredible results. The other person does not. It's very fucking simple. And it boils down to one thing: how you react to circumstance, how you perceive circumstance, how you show up on a day-to-day basis, what your attitude and mood is. Now, I'm going to give you a very simple framework so that you can start shifting your state. If you catch yourself being negative, being pessimistic, fucking getting angry at yourself, getting angry at the process, getting impatient, I'm going to give you a very simple framework to look at the world through so that you can get yourself into a better place. And the simple framework is this: do not seek what's true, seek what's useful. Do not seek what's true, seek what's useful. Now, what I mean by this is very simple, okay? If you look at your content and you get 100 views, right? 100 views is 100% true. Now, if you compare yourself to other people on social media that have similar followings than you, and they're getting 1,000 views per video and you're getting 100 views per video, is it true that your social media is getting less engagement than theirs? Yes or no? Yes, 100%. It is true. It's true that your content isn't getting a lot of engagement. However, is that useful? Like if you're sitting there talking about how your content's only getting 100 views and you're feeling negative about it and you're frustrated about it, is that useful? Meaning, is that productive? Meaning, will that make you feel better about working on your business, or will that make you feel worse? See, most people, what they do is they complain about situations that are true. And the thing about complaining about situations that are true is oftentimes you are right. Here's another example. You're driving in traffic. All of a sudden, somebody cuts you off and fucking flips you the middle finger. Bam. Is it true that that guy's a dick? Absolutely. That's 100% true. But is it useful? Like, will talking about it and being like, fuck that, fuck this guy, blah, blah, blah. Is that productive? And is that going to help you have a better day for your own life? It's true for sure, but is it useful? It's not useful. So why talk about it? Why think about it? Why ruminate on it? Why call your friend and complain that somebody cut you off in traffic? It might be true, but it is not useful. Somebody shows up to a sales call. They end up saying no. They hang up the phone. Is it true that this person did not buy and that this person didn't buy? Yes. But while talking about it, complaining about it, thinking about it, ruminating about it, will that help you be productive? Will that motivate you to keep working on your business? Probably not. Is it true? Yes. Is it useful? No. So when we're thinking about our situations, whether that's getting 100 views on social media or somebody cutting you off on traffic or somebody says no to you on a sales call, you must look at the world through the lens of don't seek what's true, seek what's useful. So what's useful? If you have a video that gets 100 views, it is absolutely useful to consider the perspective of you will never, most of you guys will never speak to a room of 100 people in your entire fucking lives. And you get to do that for free on social media. What a fucking beautiful opportunity. You're so lucky. That is a useful belief. So let's talk about that. When it comes to, somebody cutting you off in traffic, flipping you the middle finger, it is useful to consider the fact that that person's probably having a bad day, but their bad day has absolutely nothing to do with you. So you're just going to move on and have a great fucking day yourself. That is 100% useful. It is useful to consider the fact that when you do book a sales call and this person doesn't buy, the fact that somebody was interested enough to book a sales call from your social media tells me that you're on the right path, and that if you keep going, eventually you'll be getting 2 sales calls a week, 3 sales calls a week, 4 sales calls a week, which will lead to 1 client a week, 2 clients a week, 3 clients a week. You just need to keep going. That is useful. It is useful to consider the fact that every single person that says no to you is 1 step closer to someone saying yes to you. That is a useful belief. And my entire principle, my philosophy on life is very simple. I do not seek what's true. I seek what's useful. I don't complain about things as they are. I look at things from the perspective of the gratitude of how they are and what they could be. I'm never like, oh, like, why did this happen to me? Like, this is so hard. Like, this is not fair. And instead, I flip the perspective and I find a useful way to look at the situation. Do not seek what's true, seek what's useful. Because if you do that and you can consistently, predictably, systematically change your thoughts throughout the day when you catch yourself slipping into a negative spiral, you will, over time, just become a more positive and optimistic person. And when you are a more positive and optimistic person, and you always see the brighter side of things, and you always see the lighter side of things, and you always see the opportunity in the adversity, you become one of the people that achieve success. It is very simple. Because having the perfect plan is only 50% of the equation, and you know that because you're a fitness coach for others. And if you give somebody a workout program or a training program and they don't follow it, how the fuck are they going to lose the weight? So that same perspective applies to how you approach business. If you approach business and you just buy a program and you expect that it's going to work for you, and then you get mad that it's working for someone else, it's not working for you, maybe you should take a look in the mirror and assess the attitude and how you're approaching situations. Because when 2 people walk the same pathway and one person gets the result and one person doesn't, it has nothing to do with the pathway and everything to do with the person. Peace, love, and protein. Have the best day of your entire life. Talk to you guys in the next episode. Let's go.
Thank you so much for tuning into today's episode. Hopefully you got some value. If you did, and you want to learn more about how me and my team can help you scale your online fitness business to $10,000 a month, DM me 10K on Instagram at TheRealBrianMark for more information, and I'll reach out to you to see if I can help you grow an online coaching business.